Las Vegas Shenanigans with Jerry and Dean. Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, playing themselves, decide to take a break from their hectic showbiz schedules and head to Las Vegas for a weekend of fun and relaxation. Little do they know, their trip will be anything but relaxing. As soon as they arrive, Jerry's clumsiness kicks in. At the hotel check-in, he accidentally knocks over a giant vase, sending it crashing to the floor. Dean, ever the smooth talker, manages to charm the hotel manager into not charging them for the damage by promising front-row seats to their next show. Their first night in Vegas, they hit the casino. Dean, with his suave demeanor, quickly finds himself at the high-stakes poker table, while Jerry, fascinated by the flashing lights and sounds, gets lost in the maze of slot machines. Jerry's luck takes a turn when he accidentally hits the jackpot on a machine he didn't even realize he was playing. Coins spill everywhere, causing a commotion and drawing the attention of the entire casino. The next day, they decide to take in a magic show. Jerry, always eager to be part of the action, volunteers to be the magician's assistant. Chaos ensues when Jerry's antics cause the magician's tricks to go hilariously wrong. Dean, watching from the audience, can't help but laugh as Jerry ends up tangled in a mess of scarves and rabbits. Their final night in Vegas, they decide to perform an impromptu show at one of the smaller clubs. The audience is thrilled to see the legendary duo, but things take a turn when Jerry accidentally sets off the fire sprinklers during their act. The club is drenched, but the audience loves it, thinking it's all part of the show. Despite the mishaps, Jerry and Dean have the time of their lives. They leave Vegas with unforgettable memories, a few new friends, and a promise to return for more adventures. Here's a lively scene from Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin's impromptu show in a Vegas club. Scene: the Spotlight Lounge, Las Vegas. The small, intimate club is packed with an eager audience. The stage is set with a grand piano, a microphone stand, and a few props scattered around. The lights dim, and the crowd hushes in anticipation. Suddenly, the spotlight hits center stage, and Dean Martin strolls out, looking dapper in his tuxedo. Dean Martin, with a charming smile, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Spotlight Lounge. I'm Dean Martin, and tonight, we've got a special treat for you. My partner in crime, the one and only Jerry Lewis, is here to join me. Let's give him a big hand." The audience erupts in applause as Jerry Lewis bounds onto the stage, tripping over his own feet but catching himself just in time. He's wearing a mismatched suit and a goofy grin. Jerry Lewis, waving enthusiastically, "Hiya, folks. Boy, it's great to be here in Vegas. Dean, did you see all those slot machines? I think I broke one." Dean Martin, laughing, "Knowing you, Jerry, I'm not surprised." Dean takes his place at the piano, and Jerry grabs the microphone. They launch into a lively rendition of "That's Amore," with Dean's smooth vocals and Jerry's comedic antics. As they sing, Jerry starts to dance around the stage, accidentally knocking over a prop table. The audience roars with laughter. Dean Martin, still playing the piano, "Jerry, watch out for the..." Before Dean can finish, Jerry trips over the fallen table and tumbles into the audience, landing in the lap of an elderly lady. She laughs and pats him on the head. Jerry Lewis, scrambling back to the stage, "Sorry, ma'am. I guess I got a little carried away." Dean Martin, shaking his head, smiling, "That's Jerry for you, folks. Always keeping things interesting." They continue their performance, with Jerry's slapstick humor perfectly complementing Dean's suave charm. The audience is in stitches, loving every minute of the show. As they finish their final song, the crowd gives them a standing ovation. Dean Martin, taking a bow, "Thank you, thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. We'll see you next time." Jerry Lewis, waving, "Good night, everybody. And remember, what happens in Vegas usually involves me falling over something." The curtain falls, and the audience continues to cheer, already looking forward to the next time Jerry and Dean take the stage. Scene: backstage at the Spotlight Lounge, Las Vegas. The backstage area is bustling with activity. Stagehands are rushing around, setting up props and adjusting lighting. Jerry Lewis is pacing nervously, trying to memorize his lines, while Dean Martin lounges in a chair, sipping a drink and humming a tune. Jerry Lewis, frantically, "Dean, I can't find my lucky bow tie. You know I can't go on without it." Dean Martin, calmly, "Relax, Jerry. It's probably around here somewhere. Just take a deep breath." Jerry starts rummaging through a pile of costumes, tossing hats and scarves everywhere. Suddenly, he spots a small box labeled "Magic Tricks" and gets an idea. Jerry Lewis, grinning, "Hey, Dean, remember that disappearing act we used to do? Maybe I can use this to find my bow tie." Dean Martin, raising an eyebrow, "Jerry, I don't think that's how it works, but go ahead. Just don't make yourself disappear before the show." Jerry opens the box and pulls out a magician's wand. He waves it around dramatically, muttering nonsense words. To his surprise, a puff of smoke appears, and when it clears, he's holding a rubber chicken instead of his bow tie. Jerry Lewis, confused, "Well, that's not right. Maybe I need to say the magic words." He tries again, this time with more enthusiasm. Another puff of smoke, and this time, a bouquet of flowers appears in his hand. Dean Martin, laughing, "Looks like you're ready for a magic show, Jerry. But we need to get on stage soon." Just then, a stagehand rushes in, holding Jerry's lucky bow tie. Scene, Hoover Dam, late afternoon. The sun is beginning to set, casting a golden glow over the massive structure of Hoover Dam. Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, still in their show outfits, arrive in a classic convertible, the wind tousling their hair. They park the car and step out, looking up in awe at the engineering marvel before them. Dean Martin, whistling, "Now that's a sight to see. You ever been here before, Jerry?" Jerry Lewis, shaking his head, "Nope, but I heard it's a real damn good time." Dean chuckles and they start walking towards the visitor center. As they explore, Jerry's curiosity gets the better of him. He spots a restricted area sign and, naturally, decides to investigate. Jerry Lewis, whispering, "Hey, Dean, let's check this out. I bet there's something cool back here." Dean Martin, sighing, "Jerry, you know we're not supposed to go in there. But then again, when have you ever listened?" They sneak past the sign and find themselves in a maintenance area filled with machinery and control panels. Jerry, fascinated by all the buttons and levers, can't resist the urge to start pressing things. Jerry Lewis, excitedly, "Look at all these buttons. I wonder what this one does." Before Dean can stop him, Jerry presses a large red button. Alarms start blaring and lights flash. The dam's spillway gates begin to open, and water starts rushing out. Dean Martin, panicking, "Jerry, what did you do? We need to fix this before we flood the whole place." They scramble to find the right controls, but Jerry's antics only make things worse. He accidentally activates a crane, which swings around wildly, knocking over equipment and causing more chaos. Jerry Lewis, frantically, "Dean, help. I think I made it worse." Dean Martin, trying to stay calm, Okay, let's think. We need to shut this down before it gets out of hand." Just then, a group of security guards burst in, looking stern. Dean quickly steps forward, using his charm to defuse the situation. Dean Martin, smoothly, "Gentlemen, I apologize for the mess. My friend here got a little too curious. We'll take full responsibility." The guards, recognizing the famous duo, can't help but smile. They guide Dean and Jerry to the control panel and help them shut down the alarms and close the spillway gates. The crisis is averted, but not without a lot of excitement. Security guard, laughing, "You two sure know how to make an entrance. Just stick to the visitor areas next time, okay?" Jerry Lewis, sheepishly, "You got it. Sorry about that." As they leave the maintenance area, Dean and Jerry share a relieved laugh. They head back to their car, the sun now setting behind the dam, casting a beautiful reflection on the water. Dean Martin, smiling, well, Jerry, we sure know how to turn a simple trip into an adventure. Jerry Lewis, grinning, yeah, but it was fun, right? And we didn't even get arrested. They drive off into the sunset. Scene, the Grand Ballroom at the Hoover Dam Hotel, late evening. The Grand Ballroom is elegantly decorated with twinkling lights and festive decorations. A live band plays upbeat jazz music, and the room is filled with guests, including fans, friends, and fellow performers. Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis are the stars of the evening, celebrating their successful show. Dean Martin, raising a glass, to a fantastic show and an even better audience. Cheers, everyone. The crowd raises their glasses and cheers. Jerry, holding a glass of soda, clinks it with Dean's drink. Jerry Lewis, grinning, and to not falling into the dam. That was a close one. Jerry Lewis, interrupting, and when you trip over your feet and land on your seat, that's Jerry. The audience roars with laughter, loving the playful banter between the two. As they continue the song, Jerry grabs a tambourine and starts playing along, adding an extra layer of fun to the performance. Dean, ever the professional, keeps singing, his voice blending perfectly with the music. Dean Martin, singing, when the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore. Jerry Lewis, pretending to be tipsy, or maybe it's just me after too much soda. The crowd is in stitches, clapping and singing along. As the song reaches its climax, Dean and Jerry come together at the center of the stage, their arms around each other's shoulders. Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, singing together, when you walk in a dream but you know you're not dreaming, signore. Jerry Lewis, pointing to the audience, that's because you're here with us, folks. They finish the song with a flourish and the audience erupts in applause, giving them a standing ovation. Dean and Jerry take a bow, beaming with pride and joy. Dean Martin, smiling, thank you, everyone. You've been an amazing audience. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Jerry Lewis, waving, good night, everybody. And remember, keep smiling and keep laughing. As they leave the stage, the crowd continues to cheer, their applause echoing through the ballroom. Dean and Jerry share a satisfied look, knowing they've given their fans a night to remember. Beyond the Sea. Scene, the Grand Ballroom at the Hoover Dam Hotel, late evening. The crowd is still buzzing from Jerry and Dean's encore performance. As they take their final bows, the audience continues to chant, encore. Encore. Dean and Jerry exchange amused glances, ready to give their fans one last surprise. Dean Martin, grabbing the microphone, all right, folks, it looks like you want a little more. How about we bring out a special guest to join us? The crowd erupts in cheers and applause, eager to see who the surprise guest might be. Dean gestures towards the side of the stage, and out steps none other than Bobby Darin, looking sharp in his classic suit. Dean Martin, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the one and only Bobby Darin. The audience goes wild as Bobby joins Dean and Jerry on stage. He shakes hands with Dean and gives Jerry a friendly pat on the back. Bobby Darin, smiling, good to see you, fellas. Mind if I join in on the fun? Jerry Lewis, grinning, Bobby, you're always welcome. Let's give these folks a show they'll never forget. The band starts playing the opening notes of Mac the Knife, and the crowd cheers even louder. Bobby takes the lead, his smooth voice captivating the audience, while Dean and Jerry provide backup vocals and comedic antics. Jerry Lewis, interrupting, and when you trip over your feet and land on your seat, that's Jerry. The audience roars with laughter, loving the playful banter between the two. As they continue the song, Jerry grabs a tambourine and starts playing along, adding an extra layer of fun to the performance. Dean, ever the professional, keeps singing, his voice blending perfectly with the music. Dean Martin, singing, when the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore. Jerry Lewis, pretending to be tipsy, or maybe it's just me after too much soda. The crowd is in stitches, clapping and singing along. As the song reaches its climax, Dean and Jerry come together at the center of the stage, their arms around each other's shoulders. Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, singing together, "When you walk in a dream but you know you're not dreaming, signore." Jerry Lewis, pointing to the audience, "That's because you're here with us, folks." They finish the song with a flourish, and the audience erupts in applause, giving them a standing ovation. Dean and Jerry take a bow, beaming with pride and joy. Dean Martin, smiling, "Thank you, everyone. You've been an amazing audience. We hope you had as much fun as we did." Jerry Lewis, waving, "Good night, everybody."